CTV family. Catch us live on your TV screen.
And you joined us back at the one and only EKSE. You know that we keep it entertaining and educational all in one, so make sure that you stay tuned. Next up, we have the one and only Diketso Setho. He's here with us in studio. He's joining us via video call. So we're going to get to know a little more about him and a bit about his background. Diketso, how are you doing?
I'm well, thanks, and how are you?
I'm good. I'm surviving. I had COVID 2.5 weeks ago. I quarantined, so I'm good. I'm healthy, trying to stay safe. I'm glad that you're doing well as well.
I'm doing well, no complaints.
I'm glad. So before we get into the Ghetto Heroes, tech innovation, and all of those details, I want to get to know a bit more about your background and how you came into the industry, and just more about you.
Okay, Diketso Setho is actually a self-taught web developer. So I started coding in roughly 5 years ago, yes. So since I could go to university, I decided to actually start coding, and actually that's how I started in a new organization, which is innovation. And organization also to be nominated as the best youth NPO last year. And that's how I got into the industry as well. And now I'm on to G8 Mall, which is a new mall that has been trending. That is me.
Amazing. So before we jump into the specifics, I wanted to ask, for any of our viewers at home, how would you define coding? What is coding?
Coding is giving a set of instructions to tell a computer what to do. So when a computer is like that, or when a machine is only a hardware that is only there and not operating, it doesn't know what to do. When you press a button, it doesn't know where to go or what to do. So coding as a programmer or a coder, you are actually giving a machine a set of instructions on what to do or what to follow.
That's awesome. I think it's so important, especially for all of our youngsters out there, to progress with technology and learn as technology is developing around the world. So now to get into Ghetto Heroes Tech Innovation, what is that all about? How did you start it, and what inspired you to start it?
Ghetto Heroes Tech Innovation is an organization that is actually bridging a gap between the 4IR and the South African kids located in disadvantaged communities. So the inspiration behind that came about when I realized that I'm part of the people who grew up in township, and we did not receive such skills, or such organization were not around. They're still not around, most of them. So I decided to open an organization where I'm going to teach young people how to code who are actually located in township sectors.
I think that's so incredible, making sure that we're closing that educational gap and that everybody has access to the same information and the same education, so that everybody can get access to all of the wonderful opportunities, in and around South Africa. So I wanted to hop on to, I know that you branched off of the tech innovation to other sort of sections of your organization. I wanted to ask about the GH online radio, if you want to tell us more about that.
Yes, also GH online radio is actually an online radio, a youth radio that is actually exposing talent and promoting businesses that are located in our townships as well. So it's mainly the presenters are young people. We are touching on topics that are actually faced by the youth today. That is what GH online radio is about. So GH is actually a brand that it's actually into
So it sounds like, beyond the Ghetto Heroes tech innovation that you started, bringing coding to kids that might not have access to it, you've decided to give an even bigger voice to them as well, giving them a platform to speak about what they've been learning and how they felt, prior to learning it, how they feel after learning it, getting that access and just getting that education. I mean, even for me, I feel so afraid of technology so often. So I feel like it's so important for kids to learn from as young as possible so they're not intimidated, because by the time they're our age, you know, there's probably going to be huge technological advancements, and everybody needs to sort of keep up with that. So on top of the GH Online Radio, I know that you created GH Mall as something to combat for businesses during COVID-19. What's GH Mall all about?
Also, GH Mall is an online mall that we are actually taking all the township businesses and putting them into a central space where people can be able to support local businesses. So we are integrating all the township businesses for customers. So we also putting them into a digital space. We know that most young people are actually too busy to be standing at the queues. So they would rather buy online. And I mean, right now, if you don't have any cash on you, how are you going to support that local business as well? So GH Mall is also something that is solving such problems to digitalize all the township businesses into one space.
I think that's so important, because we know how many businesses have suffered, you know, not just in South Africa, but around the world. I mean, it's been such a rough year, 2020, especially for businesses in various industries. And I think it's so awesome to hear how you've contributed to that, to really try and help people. And even for me, before we went into lockdown, I hated online shopping. Lockdown taught me to love online shopping and really just accept that online shopping is the way of the world. So I also wanted to ask you more about what you think it means to kids accessing all of this coding information that you've taught them.
So I would say even on this past Friday, I received a call from just random person in Instagram, a video call. When I checked if the students with his years back in 2017. So they're actually creating a website for their, they were telling me about it, and they need assistance. So this got into the space of coding. And not only focusing on code, but also entrepreneurship can also come in, because you can work with clients. I mean, there are so many businesses out there that want a website. There are so many businesses that want digital marketing. So such information can come on top of coding, because coding actually opens your mind and you are able to analyze things and be analytic.
It sounds like you're trying to convince me as well to not be afraid of technology and be analytical and start learning coding myself. Even after university, anything when it comes to coding and computers, it does sound a little intimidating, and I love how you've just broken it down to kids in a simple way that makes it, you know, understandable at the end of the day.
I mean, whether you are, whichever course that you are doing or the industry that you are hoping to get after graduating in any course. I mean, your nurse needs a coder, lawyers need coding, our securities need coding also for their own cyberspace. I mean, coding is just everywhere, and more jobs are going to be replaced by robots. And if you do not know how to code, it means you won't know how to update those robots. So you won't be employed in future. So jobs in future are actually for coders. That's what I can say.
Diketso, it has been so phenomenal talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing insight, not just with our viewers, but also with me. I feel like so many viewers at home will be encouraged to reach out to you and to do a little more research on coding. Thank you so much for joining us. So that was Diketso Setho. He joined us here in studio via video call, you know, just adapting to the new ways of 2020. We're going to jump to an ad break, but make sure that you stay tuned, because we're always around.
CTV family, catch us live on your TV screen.